This video is on how to add the shadows for our floor plan. You have another one, how to add the shadows to the elevations, which I might do another one. Might be two part for the elevations. But for the floor plan, I went over this in class, but I'm gonna do it again just in case somebody were out or you didn't get to, or you forgot the steps. This is how it's gonna look. We're gonna add a shadow to the exterior. Okay, seeing like if the sun was hidden this way. So again, the floor plan is like it was cut at certain feet from the ground, so it's casting shadows. Those walls are going to be casting shadows. Okay. Good thing with this is we can have it in layers. If we need to get rid of them, let's say it looks too crowded and we want to get rid of them, just leave the outer shadow. We can do that too. All right. So the way I have it set, I have one for wall shadow, and it's right underneath the floor plan. And then I have another one that says shadow. This is the shadow for the building, which is the exterior. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and do both. That way you guys can see the steps. So what I'm gonna do, actually let me get rid of the ones that I have done right now. So I'm gonna get rid of wall shadow, so I can start from scratch, and I'm gonna get rid of shadow. All right, and then just to, like I said in the previous video, just to have so that Illustrator it works smoother, I'm gonna turn off, make sure they're locked, and turn off your layers. And I'm gonna leave only on, first of all, I'm gonna need walls, and actually let's start with walls. Okay, so I'm gonna use walls. So the rest, make sure everything's locked. Just leave the walls. That way, whatever you select, it's gonna be that. And of course, make sure it's selected. Okay, I'm sorry. Unlock it. So that's the first we did. If you remember, that's the first step we did, which was to go all around and around the perimeter of the building. And then we came back and added the floor, which is the space where the floor is, and the negative space which we didn't put any color was the actual wall cavity, which took this color, for example, and that's what I mean, right? So we added the color. Let me turn off walls now so you can see. So this is empty, right? That's empty, and then so what shows is what's underneath on the layer palette, which is walls. So that gray, but in reality, we're not drawing wall by wall. It's just a solid color in the back, which looks like this. Okay, now we're gonna use this to create our exterior. Let's call it like that, our exterior or our building shadow. Let's call it building shadow. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to make a copy of this. All right, so I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna edit copy. I'm gonna lock that layer, and I'm gonna make another layer, and I'm gonna call it building shadow. Shadow building. Hope I spelled it right. I'm gonna pull it down, right? So we're gonna have background and the shadow, and then everything on top. And I'm gonna turn off walls. And oh, okay. And since I had copied it, now I'm gonna come to edit and paste it in front. Don't just put paste. It has to be paste in front or paste in back. And back doesn't matter. But make sure you paste it so it pastes right on top of where the other one was. And that's what we want, because we don't want for it to shift. So there it is. Okay. And again, and that's building shadow. We copied it from walls, and then the new building, a new layer, called it building shadow, and we paste it in front right here. Okay. So in reality, we have two, one on top of the other. But I'm going to turn off walls and turn it off because I want to see only building shadow. Now for the building shadow, it's a little bit different the way we're going to do it. We're going to go to effects. We're going to use the effects to do that. And we're going to go to effects. We're going to go, actually, let's go ahead and select it first. There we go. We're going to go to effects. We're going to go to distort and transform. And we're going to go to transform. There. Here, we're going to make a copy. We're going to move it, right? Towards that direction right there. So we have horizontal and vertical. And we're going to make some copies, so it copies 20, in this case 20 times. So how many inches? Well, on the lecture in class, we said it was going to be 0.02 inches on horizontal. And vertical, I'm sorry, we're going to go negative 0.02. Okay? And then how many copies do you want of that? We want 20 copies. So it's going to do that movement 20 times. And you'll see it right now. I'm going to press preview just so you can see it and see how it made that. It copied this right here 20 times towards that direction because we told it 2 and negative equal 0.02 and point or negative 0.02 also horizontal and vertical. So that's what we want. So we're going to put OK. Okay, so we have our shadow. Now, right now it doesn't look like much. Actually, if I turn on, let me just turn everything on so you can so you can see how it starts looking. Let me turn our floor plan, that, walls, and background. See, so we have. Actually, we have to have. No, it's fine. So see, now we have an exterior shadow. So now it looks a little more 3D-ish. 3D-ish. The building. Now we brought in light and it looks more natural. Now on the copy sense, you can see right here what it did. It made 20 copies of that movement that we did. Okay. So that's how we create the exterior shadow. We're gonna again we make do a new layer, call it building shadow. Copy walls, paste them in that layer, and then go ahead and go to edit, transform. Distort transform and then do the changes that I just showed you. So that's the exterior. Now the interior, it's a little more tricky. For the interior, we're going to have to do another layer and make some changes to some of the components that we have here. So I'm going to go back and turn everything off, even building, and I'm going to leave only walls and floor. Everything else I'm going to turn off. Okay, so I have floor and let me lock that. Floor and walls. Okay, and I'm going to unlock those. Well, actually, one by one. Well, what I want to do to create the shadows, right now they're not solids. It's just a negative space. So what I need to do is to have this as a solid, all the walls. That way, when I put the transform, it creates a shadow with the solids right here. Right now they don't exist. This is negative space. Okay. So I'm going to use what I have here to create that wall. And these are the steps. I want to put everything on a different layer. So I'm going to create a new layer. And this one, I'm going to call it int, or let's put wall shadow. Wall shadow. All right, to that layer, I'm going to bring this to components. I'm going to bring the walls and the floor. First thing that I'm going to bring into wall shadow is going to be the walls. So I'm going to lock that one. All right, lock everything else just to make sure I'm grabbing what I need. Selection, I'm going to grab. And what I'm grabbing again is walls. It's the overall, just what we did before. Copy. I'm going to lock that layer. Come to wall shadow, the one I just created. All right. And I'm going to, let me turn this off just so you can see what it's doing. Now everything locked. I'm only seeing wall shadow. It's unlocked. On wall shadow, I'm going to come copy and I'm going to paste in front. Okay, so there it is. So now I have, on wall shadows, I have the solid that goes around or the area of the building. Very similar to what we did with building shadow. Now, here's going to be a little bit different. Let me lock that again. Now I'm going to turn on floors. Okay, now I'll turn this off because this is covering it. Now here on floor, make sure that everything's locked except for floor, I'm sorry, and you have, it's on, it's visible. In my case, I have two separate ones. That's why when I was adding, remember what I showed you, I was adding different rooms, and I was doing, well, let me go here. I went to Pathfinder, and I was adding them. Well, this was the reason. That way I can select at once. But since mine I did it with two sections, I'm going to leave it, I'm going to select both of them. So notice here the negative space, we're going to make some changes so that that becomes a solid, and this where you have color is going to disappear. Now, to do that, I'm going to grab those two, all right, the two sections of the floor, which is this one and this one, the two components, or the two solids. I'm going to grab those, or not solids, the area. All right, I'm going to copy that, lock that, turn it off, and then turn on shadows or wall shadow, unlock it, and here I'm going to paste it right in front. Okay, so that it's gonna look very similar to what we had when we had just the walls and floors. So on that layer, but it's now this layer is gonna have two. This that we just pasted, and the two colors that I'm about to paste, which were in floor. So edit, paste in front. Okay, so now I have on this layer, I have the walls, which is the whole area, and then these two different shapes. You want to call them shapes that uh, that cover the wall space or the floor space. I'm sorry. And right now the walls are empty. So this is what I want because I'm gonna do the opposite of unite. I'm gonna grab now that I have them to make sure you follow the steps. I'm gonna grab all of them, which is the gray background, this color, and this color. I'm gonna grab everything, and I should be able to grab everything because everything's in one layer. Once I grab all of them, again, they're in one layer. Make sure everything's locked. I'm gonna go to properties, and instead of going to unite, I'm gonna go to minus front. Okay, so what it's gonna do is gonna delete everything except this negative space. All right, so grab both of them, click on minus front, and there it is. See, so now those are solid. So now we have sections for the wall. So those walls, now we're actually seeing them. Okay, so in other words, by using minus front, now we have walls. See, can you see them? Okay, so now I can use this to cast shadows, and that's what I want. I want to use that to cast some shadows. So now from here, it's a lot easier. Now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and grab. As a matter of fact, let's do this. I don't want to have a shadow. See this line right here? I don't want that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my eraser. And I'm going to come right about there, as close as you can. And go ahead and get rid of those right there. Right here too. As much as you can. And again, what I'm using is eraser. You can relay sections of it. Alright. And it has to be perfect. Alright, where else? There, there. Might need it here. We'll see. I think there should be a door somewhere here. I'll check it towards the end. Alright, so again, I'm using eraser. Now that I have that, I'm going to grab everything that it's on wall shadow, okay, all the walls, and I'm going to repeat the steps I did for building shadow. The only difference is going to be, again, effect, distort, transform, and it's going to be the same thing, 0.02, negative 0.02. Just on the copies, I'm going to put 10 instead. Instead of 20, I'm going to put 10. Right, preview. Yeah, looks good. Press OK. Okay, so now I have shadows inside. Now, I'm going to grab my shadow, wall shadows, and that's going to be right underneath floor plan. All right, because if not, the fixtures are going to be on top of it. It's going to look off. They have to be on top. So I'm going to grab wall shadow, and I'm going to pull it all the way over here. Now I'm going to turn everything off. Turn on everything. Okay, so turn everything on. So now it looks something like this. Now it looks too dark. Let me see. Oh, I'm missing the floor. There you go. See, so now it's casting some shadows there. All right. Now, if they're too dark, let me see what it's doing. Let me grab wall shadow. And let's see what color it has. It has this one? No, it's probably that one. You know what? It had that color from the background. That's true. Actually, just undo. Well, let's see, undo. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. go back. All right, now you notice here the difference in color. Okay, so here we're gonna try to tweak it as much as we can. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab my wall shadow. I'm gonna go to properties and let's try to get, well actually let's start with the outer one first. Let's start with building shadow. So unlock this one, unlock building shadow. Make sure you grab the building shadow shape, and I'm gonna give it a color, and let's try too dark. Let's try that one. Oh, actually, it matches right there. Oh, perfect. All right, so that kind of matches, so that's pretty good. Now, if it's too dark, what we can do is make it a little bit lighter. Let's say you want it to be a little bit lighter like that. Now you see the difference. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back and lock building shadow, unlock wall shadow, and grab wall shadow, and maybe what I can do is change the color, maybe even lighter than the other one. There you go. I think it's the same. There you go. So now we have shadows on the outside and on the inside. And you can go lighter if you want to. Okay, so again, it's a matter of preference. As a matter of fact, let's try to go lighter. Okay, so let's go again, building shadow. Let's see what it does. Let's go right here. Oh, that might be too light. Yeah, no, let's stick to that one. Okay, so there you go. So that's how you add the shadows for your walls. I don't know, maybe add some shadow to the furniture just to give it a little more edge. We'll see. But again, the good thing with this is that we have it on different layers. We have one for wall shadows. Let's say it gets too crowded or too busy visually, we just can come back and get rid of it, and there you go, a lot cleaner. Right. So that's how we're going to add our shadows on the floor plan. So follow the steps. Also, what happened here? Okay. I need to bring actually. Okay, I'll check on this. I need to make some changes. Okay, so go ahead and follow those steps, and then I'm going to tweak some stuff here. All right, so that's gonna how you add the shadows, and again, make sure you lock everything, and turn whatever you don't want, whatever you don't want you're not working with, turn it off. That way, Illustrator works a lot faster. I'm gonna turn everything on again, just so you guys can see where we're at. You should be somewhere close to here, adding shadows to your floor plan, and adding shadows to your elevations. Okay, we're gonna add now some sky with gradient. So it's a work in progress. We're almost done. Watch these videos, guys. Please find Illustrator. If you need to go to the CLE, go to the CLE. If you need to go to whatever computer labs, they might have Illustrator. So look around STC or the library, wherever, because we need to finish this ASAP. So next time we meet, we need to add the final touches and print and jump into the final project, which is going to be similar to this. So please just go ahead and finish up, and this is how you add your shadows on both the floor plan, and there's another video that shows you how to add the shadows to your elevation. So enjoy, have some fun.